Well, hello again, 1L, and welcome to a tiny little lesson here that we're going to have on multiplying and dividing with integers. So this says I can successfully multiply and divide with integers. Okay, look at my nice little graphic here. I'll admit I actually stole this off the internet somewhere. Whoever put it together had a really nice sense of humor, and I liked it, so I'm going to use it. So same signs mean positive. Take a look at our two little happy faces here. They got their nice little eyes, two plus signs or two minus signs. They're really, really happy. But take a look at these guys over here. Their signs are different. They've got, it looks like they have a black eye or something like that. Someone punched them in the eye. This is a negative kind of idea. Different signs have a negative idea. So, same signs, everybody's happy, we're positive. Different signs, nope, we're not happy with things being different, so it's negative. So, how does that have to do with math? Well, if I take two negatives and I multiply them together, they're happy. That's this case here. Two negatives, they're happy, so they give me a positive answer. And again, here, two negatives, they're all happy, so they give me a positive answer. So if the signs are the same, two positives or two negatives, our answer is going to be positive. Now look over here, if we have different signs, they're not happy. Different signs are sad signs. So if we've got a negative multiplied by a positive, our answer, our final answer is a negative answer. And here, two different signs. This is a positive 72 on top and a negative 8 on the bottom. So the signs are different, so it's negative. So this says two negatives make a positive, one negative stays a negative. Okay. So let's do some examples. We'll go down and see what we can do with these. So the first thing we're going to do is figure out what sign they are. I'm just going to go through and figure out the sign. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not even going to bother multiplying or dividing off the start. So if I look at this one, this number here is a positive number, and this one here is a negative number, and those are different, and different makes things sad, so it's a negative outcome. Now this one, they have the same signs, and same signs is happy and a positive outcome. Now over here, again, different signs are sad, a negative outcome. Over here, both of these things are positive. So that has a happy outcome. And this one, they're different again, so it's a negative outcome. And these ones again are different, so it's a negative outcome. Okay, so that's all there is to it. Same signs, happy. Different signs, sad. Now that we've got that figured out, now I'm just going to look at the numbers. 2 5s make 10. 3 7s make 21. 6 10s make 60. If I split 12 into 3 parts, that's what divided by means, split into parts. If I split 12 into 3 parts, each of those parts will have 4 in them. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And if you don't know your times tables, I will allow you to use the calculator, but I don't want you punching in negative signs, because the more negative signs you actually punch in, the more chance there is that you're going to screw up and get the wrong answer. And it's so easy to look and see what number your answer is going to be, or what sign your answer is going to be. So look at this one, 50 divided by 5. If I take 50 and split it into 5 equal groups, each of those groups has 10 in them. And here, if I take 24 and I split them into 8 equal groups, each one of those groups is going to have 3 in it. 24 divided by 8 is 3. Now, none of that is any different from the multiplying and dividing you learned in elementary school. Not even one little bit. We took care of the different part right off the start, where we decided whether our answer was going to be positive or negative. And then when we put those down, then all we have to do is go back to what we learned when we learned our multiplication and division back in grade school. So what does this say? If you have more than two numbers being multiplied, pair up the negatives. If you can pair them all up, the answer is positive. If you have one negative left over, your answer is negative. So let's take a look at that. This one, here's two negative signs. I can pair them up. Maybe I should do this with a different color so it looks different. So if I can pair them up and I've got none left over, this is going to have a positive answer. Now I'm not even going to figure this out, because I can punch it into the calculator and do 9 times 1 times 8. It turns out to be 72, but I'm not even worried about that right now. I know you can use a calculator, so we're not going to go over how to punch it into the calculator. We're just going to figure out how to get rid of those signs and figure out whether our answer is going to be positive or negative. Now if we take a look at these three numbers, I can those two negatives, I can pair them up and make them positives, but this negative, it doesn't have something to pair it up with. So I've got one left over, so the answer is going to be negative. Now, if I look here, this little lonely little negative, it doesn't have a partner. So it's going to make the rest of them all unhappy too, and the whole answer is going to be negative. Now, if we look down here, there's two negatives there. We can pair them up. They're now positive, so our whole answer is going to be positive. And this last one, I get these two that I can pair up and make positive, and then this one, it's mad. It doesn't have a pair, so it's going to just make the rest of them all sour too, and the whole answer is negative. So if you can pair them up and get rid of them all, your answer is positive. But after you pair them up, if you've got one lonely, mad little negative left over, he's going to make them all negative. Okay, now once again, you have a worksheet to complete.